What do we have here? Proctology Explorer. Drinkus Beerkus. Melted Delticus.
Dude, you're embarrassing me in front of the wizards.
Damn it, Harry. What is it again?
Lumos
Ultra. What's up, wizards? I'm Nick, and this is Build Dad Build, and this is the Lumos Ultra. That's right, guys. WeCreat sent out the Lumos Ultra for me to kick the tires on, if you will. And look at it. I mean, you guys just saw it, but you know what I'm so happy about? It's black, because you know what they say. It's actually not completely black, it's black and gray, but it's not orange, it's not green, it's not purple. It doesn't look like the Joker threw up on it. Not that Joker. That Joker. But honestly, I'm just glad it's not some bright, obnoxious color because I want it to look like a tool. I don't even like Milwaukee tools being red or DeWalt tools being yellow. Why can't tools just be tool color? And I believe this is the first desktop UV Mopa system. So it's not quite an all-in-one. We'll get to that a little bit later, but you do have your UV laser inside this unit, and then your Mopa is over here. And we'll talk about how those work together later. Look at how small this is. So this whole thing does UV and fiber galvo stuff. I would like to draw your attention to my gigantic fiber that's sitting over there in the other corner of the shop, and you will see that this is quite a bit smaller. This big horse's leg over here is a 50-watt fiber galvo laser. These two units right here compose a fiber and UV system. Small. We likey. Less room in the shop. I have too many big, obnoxious machines. So the main unit is a 6-watt UV laser, and it has a separate lens to do crystal engraving. Here's a little dobby I did. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it very well. Ooh, you can see a little bit there. These are really cool in person. They are very hard to video and photograph, as you will see in some of my crappy footage. The Mopa unit I have here is the 60-watt. It also comes in a 100-watt flavor. The main unit has an air-cooled thermal system built in, and it can run up to 16,000 millimeters a second. That's crazy speeds. You're probably not gonna run it that fast, but think of it this way. If you have a car that goes up to 80 miles an hour and you're driving at 70 miles an hour, you're really pushing that engine as hard as you possibly can. Whereas you have a car that goes 150 miles an hour and you're doing 60 miles an hour, or 70 or whatever I just said, you have a lot more power to tap into if need be. So whenever a new laser comes out, people always say, you're never gonna run it that fast. You're probably right. You're probably never gonna run it that fast. But you have a greater capability because it does run that fast. The beauty of the kind of all-in-one system is that you can do so many different kinds of materials. So I have been busy, like a bee, putting the Lumos Ultra through its paces. Now, the one thing that I did run into is some of the cooler things you can do, even though it's a galvo, even though it's super fast, do take time. So you're gonna see a lot of time-lapse when I talk about some of the features, but I figure some of the quicker stuff we might just do real time right now. Just a quick housekeeping tip, guys. I'm not really gonna give you best settings for any of this stuff right now. WeCreat has provided some suggested settings, but I am finding that those do need to be tweaked a little bit. And as you'll see, a lot of the things that I'm doing here are not perfect by any means. And this one's gonna be interesting. I have not done this yet, but you can engrave feathers with this. It's some sort of cold processing. I was unfamiliar with what cold processing is, so I had to write it down. Cold processing. It uses a photochemical process. The UV laser breaks molecular bonds and removes material as gaseous, as gas particles. I'm putting an H in there, shouldn't be an H in there. Resulting in an almost no heat affected zone, enabling clean, repeatable engraving, blah, 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 without damaging the material. So it's perfect for heat sensitive and organic materials such as resin and 3D printed parts. So if you guys want to see me use this on a 3D print in a future video, let me know in the comments down below. Today we're going to do a feather just because I thought that was interesting, and I have chickens and they have feathers. Now I only have 2 feathers because I just pick up the ones that actually fall out of them. I don't pluck them. And my chickens are mainly black. So I have this feather and I have one that has just kind of a white stripe on it. So we're gonna fire this off and hopefully get it on the first take because, like I said, I've got one more and this is not a great candidate. We have our feather loaded in there already. And I apologize, I'm absolute dog shit at trying to screen record on PCs. I don't know how you guys do it. All right, so one of the chicken's names is Sunny. All right, and then we've got our settings. We got power 60%, speed 500 millimeters per second, pulse width 200, frequency 48, and the line density is 200. And then we grab our cool shades. One thing I thought was interesting about this is this machine did not come with any protective glasses. I don't really think that's a big deal anyway because the protective glasses they send with these so often are not any good. I highly recommend buying your own. And when you're looking for them, just make sure they're the correct frequency for your laser. And this does have a shield that goes down on it. So if this is closed, you be good. But since I'm gonna film it, I'm gonna have it open. I have this fear this is gonna burst into flames. What lens? Hold on a second. I can't see. So this is a cool point. This thing has automatic lens detection. So you set the laser up to do different kinds of engraving, it uses different lenses. I have the purple lens in there right now, which I believe is the Mopa lens. This is the crystal, but I just got an error up on the screen, as you can see, that says you have the wrong lens in there, which is great, because since you can change out the lenses and you do what I just did, you fired the wrong beam to the wrong thing. You feel me. So lens is real easy. Reach up in here, unscrew, purple lens comes out, lens cover. And then I always leave the lens cover on the other one when I put it back in. Take the rear off, and it's got nice big machine threads. So it's pretty easy as I stumble with it. I have to use my dumb hand, hold on. So one of the nice things about this, and I guess I should have shown you this before, is it has a 50 megapixel camera, which takes a picture of your surface. Let me close this. So basically what I did is I hit this button right here, takes a picture, then you place your engraving, and then you get up here and you hit start. All right, cool shades. We're hitting start or send. What it tells you right now, I already turned my camera off. It basically tells you to close the shield and hit the button on the side. So you can't just accidentally run it from your computer. You actually have to walk over and physically touch the machine and turn that on, because I don't think it's gonna take very long, and go. Oh, it's blowing it out. I can kind of barely see it, but I was ill prepared for the wind. I didn't think about that. So it has its own exhaust, so it blows out the back. I just didn't even think about that when I was doing it. So what I'm gonna try to do, I guess I'll try the other one. So we hit refresh, and that's gonna take us our picture. Let's make sure that we're focused. This machine does have an autofocus function. Just FYI, at the time of me filming this, there is a known bug with it. They're working on it. It's supposed to be fixed by March 17th. Hit the button. Oh, and look away. Oh, there. All right, I can't tell how well that's showing up on camera. I can see it, but it is kind of, I mean, there's some dark parts of the feather, and when I look at it through the lens of this, it's kind of washing that out a little bit. It's there, trust me. Also, trust me on this. Close it when you do that. That smells ratchet. And guys, if you are interested in the train in the background or the Lumos Ultra, I will leave a link down below to the Kickstarter. Check it out. So you've probably seen a couple of lasers out there doing these crazy like 3D crystal engraves. And I apologize for this engraving footage. It's blurry. The camera has a really hard time focusing on something that's clear. So if I do end up getting some good shots, those will be like right here. Ooh, check those out, baby. That's my voice, only if you actually got to see it. I did a couple of tests on stainless steel. There's an iridescent test that I show you right here. It looks really cool. I don't understand exactly how that works. So a little bit more research is gonna be needed there. And as you can see, I was probably using a little bit too thin of a piece of stainless steel for this engrave here. You can see the edge of the metal start peeling up as the heat kind of warped it. And then this is just a really cool slate emboss. This is just a really neat feature because I don't really like doing engraving slate all that much, and I have a ton of these coasters, but being able to do that 3D embossing, oh, that is really cool. And that's the Mopa doing its thing on slate. I did another quick test on acrylic. This clip is at like 10 times speed. Probably need to tweak the settings a little bit. Plus, I don't think it gives off a good result on matte acrylic. So I just kind of wanted to show you this because of how quickly it will engrave an image. And I did a couple of these leather keychains just to show you how fast the Galvo can do small things. With a small footprint on this laser, you're probably doing smaller items, but you'd probably be doing multiple items at a time. I did want to run you through how to install the Mopa because it's a little different than what you're probably used to, but it's a very interesting design. And then I gotta turn the ugly lights on for a second so you guys can see this. Computer, turn shop lights on. Okay, so let's talk about the back of this machine a little bit. Are you hearing me? Okay. All right, so if you look back here, a couple of things to note, let's say. One, this is the power brick for the Mopa. It's huge. This is the power brick for the UV, enormous power bricks. In order to connect the two devices, you have like an old, what is that, serial? The old dot matrix printer. I haven't seen one of these connections in a long time. I'm surprised. Very antiquated connector. That was a little shocking to me. I would like to see something better. Maybe that's the only way they can get to communicate. At least it's not proprietary. Now, the other thing is the power for the UV. I'm gonna turn this off. It's got one of these boogers. So we're back to another connector that could have been USB to USB. Now, after you swap out the lens, or before you swap out the lens if you want, the Mopa is this guy right here. So this is this unit, all right? It's not on, but that's This is the Mopa fiber that's gonna fire in the machine. You got a little port back here, you open this up like a glove. Speaking of, how's your sister? Now to be clear, you can leave this in here. You don't have to take it in and out unless you just wanna take the Mopa part away. Like this can stay in here when the UV's running, as far as I know. I haven't seen anything to the contrary. And for my next feat, I figured I would just take you through how the Mopa embosses. We're gonna do a brass lighter. All right, so we have our lighter. We don't need that. Boop. And I'm just gonna bring in an image that I already have. Hogwarts. We're just gonna double click on this, or I mean right click. We're just gonna right click, add an image, remove the background, and I'm gonna remove this, I think. Then we come up here. I probably should have done this first. Hit relief engraving. This is where you can come in and check your image. And I really wanna go with a gray. And I wanna make sure that that lettering comes through, so. Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't adjust my line density. That's what I wanted. While that's loading in, I just want to show you one thing. They do have a fume extractor coming soon, but I do not have a fume extractor for this unit. And when you're engraving brass, you have to extract not necessarily the fumes, but the brass dust. That stuff will get all over in the air, and if it gets in your lungs, it makes it really hard to breathe. It's not a good time. So what I'm using right now is my makeshift fume extractor, because I don't really worry as much about fumes as I am about the dust. So what I've done is just the exhaust port they have coming out of the back is this tube here, and I have that just hooked directly to my shop vac. So it'll suck it in there. But you'll have little pieces, you'll have little brass dust everywhere, including in your lungs. So just very careful with that. What I want to do is give you an idea of how loud this machine is. So I'm gonna start it before I turn on my shop vac, and I'll close it so you can hear it. So this is with it closed. I'm gonna open it, it's gonna shut off. That's with it open. Normally you wouldn't be running with it open anyway, because obviously you want to extract the fumes. But yeah, it's a pretty quiet little machine. And the other nice thing is, if you do lift that up, it'll auto shut off, but it just goes right back to press the button to turn it back on. So you don't, if you accidentally open it, you don't ruin your project. All right, I'm gonna let that rock and roll. All right, so I think we sent her a little too hard, boys. I think we sent her a little too hard. I do believe it's gonna need a little refining, but you guys get the idea. If you guys are interested in getting your own Lumos Ultra, I will put a link in the description down below. Now, until next time, Lumos Ultra. That's burning my hand, isn't it? Daddy out.